E-commerce has a secret. Whilst the space is booming, with nearly $4 trillion in revenue predicted in the retail space in 2020, 2.2% of this revenue goes straight to fraudulent transactions. This amounts to $90 billion in losses each year, along with $175 billion in associated costs. Whilst merchants are delighted at the increasing revenue, they're shocked at increased costs due to liability shift with card-not-present transactions. At Microsoft, we face the same problem. Across both our in-store and online channels, we were hit by high fraud costs. We looked out to the market and couldn't find a vendor to meet our needs, so we went ahead and designed a solution in-house. This solution focuses on finding the right balance between reducing fraudulent transactions without blocking legitimate transactions we receive from our customers. Our internal solution protects against payment fraud and much more, managing over 1.1 billion transactions per year and ultimately saving the company over $1 billion in fraud stopped. The solution has been nominated for the Inform Franz Edelman Award in 2019. The solution we delivered for Microsoft uses the same technology that we are now commercializing. With Dynamics 365 Fraud Protection, we are combining all our expertise as a merchant with Microsoft's AI and fraud protection technology and access to a depth of data that other solution providers don't have access to. We aim to help customers with 3 outcomes. Firstly, to help reduce fraud and fraud-related costs through our connected graph and advanced AI that adapts to the changing fraud landscape. We do this in the following way. The product builds a graph of data that provides a view of fraudulent behavior across all participating fraud protection customers, while still helping to protect the privacy of shoppers and the competitive intelligence of merchants. Another benefit of the unique data in the connected graph is that customers have immediate access to the extensive fraud protection intelligence Microsoft has gained as one of the world's largest e-commerce merchants. The result of all of this is fraud protection customers get high accuracy fraud assessments delivered by advanced adaptive AI that uses both their own real-time data and that of the connected graph. Secondly, we help increase our customers' revenues by ensuring more of their legitimate customer transactions go through. We're doing this in combination with innovative bank and issuer partnerships that share fraud-related information, which can ultimately help to increase acceptance rates. And finally, we improve your customers' experience by reducing wrongful rejections and lowering friction during the buying experience. In the event that a legitimate transaction gets blocked, we provide tools to help your customer support quickly resolve the problem. Our experience with customers so far has highlighted that they come from both ends of the spectrum. Some customers have sophisticated industry-specific fraud management tools and come to Microsoft to enrich their machine learning models, whilst other customers have very basic functionality and little understanding of where to begin to improve their fraud prevention today. We are able to meet our customers wherever you are in your fraud protection journey. So let's go ahead and look at the demo. I'm a fraud manager, and in my organization today, we have basic fraud prevention capability. This tool will help me find areas to improve our fraud protection. Let's start with the Diagnostic experience. This is a differentiated experience from Microsoft, as I can actually preview the product's ability to detect fraud in my business before I deploy a proof of concept, which ultimately helps me justify the investment. Diagnose is a 3-step process. Step 1, I come in and I upload my historical data. And this is going to include transactions, payment information, and any chargeback data. Once I've uploaded my data, I can now access a full data diagnostic report. The data diagnostic report identifies gaps in the data that we have today and suggests key areas where I can go ahead and improve it. We can see here 2 gaps in the date range, and the solution is actually also prompting me to capture specific payment instrument information. I can go ahead and improve the quality of this data before I move on to step 3, where we'll access a full risk diagnostic report. The risk diagnostic report summarizes patterns across my business and presents me with AI analysis of fraud protection and revenue opportunities. It also enables me to adjust the operating characteristics of the model to see the effect that that has on my business. I can then proceed with the proof of concept in our live transaction environment. As the fraud manager, I can now use this tool over the coming months, and it will actually help me to justify changes to our fraud protection landscape. We're becoming more sophisticated and including real-time transactions, using fraud protection APIs, along with machine learning, connected graph, device fingerprinting, and trust knowledge integration with issuers. Ultimately, we can improve our acceptance rates and reduce the number of fraudulent transactions. However, fraud landscapes continue to change, and I've identified some high-risk payment instruments. I want to go in and adjust the operating point of the model using our virtual fraud analyst. The virtual fraud analyst looks at specific segments. I can see the impact of the fraud driven by that segment. I can look at how much fraud is stopped versus good customer transactions. But the key is to find the right balance. By moving the model operating point, I can actually go ahead and increase transactions by thousands, but only allow in a small number of fraudulent transactions. The costs of these fraudulent transactions are easily covered by the profit margins of the good quality transactions that we will receive as a result. I can go ahead, put this into production. Now, all fraud models stop some good customers, so it's crucial to have a good support tool. Summer is a customer who's recently had a transaction rejected. The reason for this is high PI velocity, in combination with the fact that the transaction, the billing address, and the shipping address have a large distance between them. So as a result, this transaction has been rejected. Now, when I look at Summer's record, she has good spend and no history of fraud. And when I speak to Summer, she clearly identifies this as a gift for a family member who lives on the other side of the country. I've identified this as a legitimate transaction, and I can go ahead and add her to a temporary safe list so that she can successfully make that transaction. Using embedded Power BI, I'm presented with a scorecard that clearly demonstrates the impact of the work I've been doing using Dynamics 365 fraud protection. I'm presented with month-to-month performance of fraud protection systems, and I can easily filter and give access to relevant users. And ultimately, I can bubble this information up to business leaders so that they can clearly understand the impact of fraud protection on their business. In summary, Dynamics 365 fraud protection combines Microsoft expertise as one of the world's largest e-commerce merchants with our comprehensive AI and fraud protection technology to deliver a solution that, working alongside bank and issuer partnerships, can help our customers to increase revenue, lower fraud-related costs, and deliver a better experience to your customers. Thank you very much for listening. To learn more, follow the link. Thank you.